Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Wix, and today we are gonna build a Tasmanian devil in our new Palmetto zoo. So sit back and relax, and let's get right into it. Hey everyone. Alright, so today's video we are doing a Tasmanian devil habitat where we're gonna build in some different things. We're gonna have a lookout. We're gonna have a little house that the keepers are gonna walk into and out, and then we are making this super nice. I'm trying to do a little bit of a realistic touch to this habitat here, because that's kind of like the goal we want to do for this specific zoo. I've done a little bit of stuff on stream as well, so what you see in the background are not relevant right now, but you will eventually see what's been working on, and then we will just move towards the other funny things in this zoo. And as I told you, we have a name for the zoo now. It's called Palmetto Zoo, and it really works well with the whole Floridian vibe I want to go with, the bugs, the palm trees, and etc. So I felt like we are pretty good with that part itself. So I've always wanted to do a Tasmanian devil habitat since we got the new pack from them in the Oceania pack, and I really love the animal in general. They are super they're cute, but of course they will bite your arms off if you get near them, so we don't want that, obviously. The only time I've actually seen them is in Copenhagen Zoo, which is also where I do a little bit of inspiration from this time around. As you know, in Copenhagen Zoo they have this little portico you can walk down to, and you can like look towards the Tasmanian devil. They actually have like a pretty big habitat in Copenhagen Zoo, and I was trying to get that vibe in here as well. As you can see right now, I am like working around some pathing and trying to do the fence right, and you can see I made this little step they can go down and look towards the Tasmanian devils as well. And I did a lot of trial and errors here. I really did, but I did get the right like, how do you say, scaling, and like how did I get all these things like accurate in here. And I felt like it took some time. As I say, it was a lot of trial and errors, but eventually we got it. And as you can see here, this is kind of like what I was talking about, having this little step down into the habitat where the Tasmanian devil will be roaming free around here. And there are going to be a lot of different areas for you to go and check out the Tasmanian devil here. As I say, we'll have like a walkthrough kind of thing, and a terrace on the top here, as you can see, where I did all the little levitated stairs. And after that, we're just slowly adding in a few things here and there, and it actually works very well, a lot of the things here. I'm trying to mix in a lot of different textures, and it actually works very well, as you can see here. And I'm really happy for how this turned out so far. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about with the whole like little step down. Here I can show you a little picture from Copenhagen Zoo. Like the whole style itself is way different. Copenhagen Zoo is very much modern and contemporary, where this is like, I'm trying to keep this like more tropical, you know, Floridian, with like using a different textures and trying to make some nice flower beds. And I'm really just trying to make it look super nice. So that's kind of like what we're doing. As you can see, I'm trying to mix out a lot of different textures, as I told you. Here we're using the Oceania pack as well. I really like these pieces here. They are gold, if you ask me. And yeah, mainly just that. And then afterwards we are going back into the habitat where we are gonna try add a little bit of more realistic touches to it. The Copenhagen Zoo habitat, I really struggle to see where the Tasmanian devils are taken, like when they're not supposed to be in their habitat. I don't know if it's like underneath where they are, or if it's like they just go in and kind of like pick them up, or I don't think that's how it goes though. But it could be. But as you can see here, we're slowly adding things to the habitat. We have the size of the habitat now. I did go in and I had a lot of trial and errors on that too. It was it's not super easy to find, because my previous struggles with Planet Zoo back in the day were making the habitats enormous for these small animals. And it was just a lot of work to do when you had to like decorate them and stuff like that. And I was just like, you know what, let's just actually try to keep this as a realistic approach and have the habitat as a small one, especially for these types of animals. And since we're kind of like having this already over here, I think next time I will try to add some quokkas or maybe some emus and kiwis, so we get like this little Australian outback section over here, which is mainly what we want to do, that is a little bit not native to Florida and what's around here, because we're still gonna have a few native habitats and insects and all that stuff from Florida around, like raccoons. We're gonna have gators and lots of different things, so it's all about how you approach it, I guess. But we're slowly adding some terrain colors here and just trying to make the Tasmanian devil have a nice time in here. And I am, as I said, I am a super fan of how this habitat turned out. This is the second one so far in the zoo. The first one we did was just the Galapagos tortoise, and now we are doing this. And I think, as I said, I want to continue this Australian outback. So we might just do this at a time. So every time we have a new area, we kind of finish it, unless we have some stuff that people help me with, like contribution. As I told you, this is like a little bit of a community zoo. So whenever I need something, I'm gonna ask some people to help me out. And we already have a few buildings coming up, and already one in here that is more of a template of what's to come. But really try to do some realistic touches here around, like you can see with their water here as well. I saw that as well in the Copenhagen Zoo. They had like this little water flow running towards the habitat. A little bit smaller, but it really works. It really does the job. I was throwing in some pictures so you guys can kind of see what it is I'm talking about. I used Google Maps for a lot of references for this specific habitat. Sometimes I usually just go in and I kind of like just wing it, more or less. But if I have to be somewhat authentic and somewhat realistic, I have to go in and see where I can take a few tips from, and like where I can steal a few references off from, and etc. So it really goes very well though in this particular area here. So as you can see, kind of like trying to close off the side here with a little bit of a plaster feel, and then we're gonna close it in and add some decals and a little bit of stuff too, so it feels like that, you know. So it's not so easy to get up from here from the Tasmanian devil, and for the guest as well. We're making tons of stuff for this specific habitat. As you can see, we're really getting at it, and there are a few things I've cut it out because there's not really any reasons for you guys to see me put dirt here for like 10 minutes, which were a lot of this progress. It was a lot of flower beds. As you can see, I was trying to make the whole area around the habitat look nice and inviting and warm. So that's kind of like the vibe we're going for here as well. As you can see, closing it as well with some African pieces. As you can see, I'm really mixing up different textures here. And when we go to the lookout, like the viewpoint of the terrace, as you can see on top, it will have like a lot of different wood textures as well, but you will see that when we get further into the video. But we're slowly adding the flower beds around here, just so we can kind of like get a nice vibe around. And then here I am giving a little bit of more terrain colors, just so we can get a perfect atmosphere into this habitat. And I'm really enjoying building this sort of zoo here so far. It's really nice not to like, how do you say, to think out of the box, because you do that a lot when it comes to fantasy. Like you have to make something that stands out, where when it comes to realistic stuff, when it, like, my opinion is that you can make it pretty like not boring, but just less than what you usually do with fantasy. And I really enjoy that I don't have to like think so extra to this, and maybe just look at a few reference pictures and then you kind of have it fixed already in that sense, you know. So I'm really happy for that. But as you can see, we've added some flower beds now, and we're gonna add a little bit of foliage around here. I was struggling a little bit of finding the perfect foliage, like, you know, more like trees, like what kind of trees did I want to use. And I don't want to use too tall trees that are like taking away the whole view. and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out a few things here and there, what is good and what is not. And it might not be the exact same foliage, plants, trees, and etc. that are here. And I'm trying to, like when it comes to palm trees, I don't want like pine trees or stuff like that here. So we're just trying to keep it more tropical as it is. What I like about the Tasmanian devil is that we can make this little place for them to go sleep. So what I'm doing here is that I'm trying to cover it up the best way possible and trying to implement it and integrate it into this habitat here. And it actually worked. It worked out pretty well, if I have to say so myself. Just covering up a few rocks here, and then afterwards we are again adding the side to the habitat here, so we won't have any jumpers or anyone escaping. And it also just gives a nice touch, I feel like, to have a little dirty sides of like the plaster with some decals and stuff. It just adds a little bit of realism to the whole build, if I have to say so myself. So I'm super stoked for how this is turning out so far. And if this is gonna be the vibe and the atmosphere all the way around this Australian outback area, then I'm pretty excited for getting this started, more or less. I will most likely do all the habitats in here, but shops and maybe facilities, maybe a little bit of restaurant, maybe statues, stuff like that will be made by community members. So it's gonna be super fun to get into this project and see how far we go, because it's gonna be a small mini project. Like as I told you guys in the start, it will have like 10 to 15 habitats tops, and then we'll keep it very small, not Hobbiton, not Mega Zoo or anything. We're gonna try and make this small so we can actually finish it within like a few months, you know, which is the whole goal here. And getting closer into the build here, and then I didn't really know what to add here because I wanted to close off the keeper entrance, right? How they kind of like went in and stuff. And as I told you, I wasn't really super clear on how that worked in the Copenhagen Zoo habitat. So I just kind of improvised and built like a little entrance shed to the habitat here. And then afterwards, behind it, we can always add more stuff to it when we get that far. Because right now I just wanted to close it in and kind of make it part of the habitat here. And I think we did pretty good here. As you can see, I'm really trying to add in and some planks here, and I'm trying to make it giving this little angle so it feels like it's laid on top of each other instead of just doing the same old thing as we always do. And it gives a nice touch, a different vibe to this, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So I am slowly adding the last pieces here on the top, and then we are gonna duplicate it and put it on the other side, and then we're actually gonna move towards the viewpoint I told you guys about. That is gonna be a little bit taller, as you can see on the right side, and it's gonna give people a better view of the whole zoo in general, because we're gonna have other habitats behind it. So when they walk up here, there'll be a lot, like, it's just gonna be a lot better view with more composition, more depth to it. That's kind of like the goal I'm trying to achieve. But while we're finishing off this little entrance shed here, I can tell that I am super excited for the announcements we just had today while I'm recording this on 1st December, Friday, about the new pieces we're getting in the game, and it comes so clutch. I really want to do a souvenir shop at the entrance of the zoo. So this couldn't come any better, honestly. So I'm excited for doing that. So as soon as they come, I will try to get a video out so we can check out all the new pieces together as well, and kind of build and have fun with them. Because that's a great announcement, and I have no clue what the DLC will be. But I guess we just have to wait and see and have our hopes up. There's a lot of things going on in Frontier right now that I want to talk about. So maybe we can do a video on that later on, where we talk about the new things coming, hopefully next year and the year after that. So yeah, I'm very excited for that, very excited. But we're slowly finishing off the shed here, as you can see, adding some windows. I'm adding windows that are like, you know, the ones that are one-sided, so it will be dark on one side and clear on the other, and it really worked well for that too, honestly. So as you can see here, we are doing the thing I told you, doing a little support, kind of like plateau terrace kind of thing here, where you can see me adding these guys a little bit further away from the pathing. But it really doesn't matter at all to me, because I really like how this is turning out to look. I cut out a lot of this, so you guys mainly just see me build this, and then we will see it be all the way up there, because it's a little bit tedious. It was, I gotta admit, but we did it. And as you can see, again, I'm using this piece here. I'm not really fond or used to use a lot of these pieces here, so it's fun to me too to get to use a lot of new pieces I haven't really used in my other projects. So yeah, very, very exciting. As you can see, giving up a little bit of security net here, just in case, you know, might as well be safe than sorry here. Adding some chains to keep up the fencing, and then we are slowly finishing off this part here by adding them everywhere on the top here, and then we will eventually add a trellis situation as well on top of it to make it feel more integrated as well. And I just love that, honestly. I absolutely love how that turned out to look. As you can see here, boom, slowly getting added more things, and then we are kind of like in that situation now where we can kind of see what it is we're trying to do here, but what are we trying to achieve. And it just I just really love this. Like I haven't really figured out a way yet to like put something on where the ramp goes, but we will eventually get to that point when we get added more animals and more clutter around, and then whenever gaps are kind of like starting to go together nicely. So, and as I mentioned, I really like to mix up a lot of the textures and also colors, so we get like so it's not all the same, and it also gives a good vibe to look at. So that's kind of like what we're doing here, using the trellis, and then we're adding it all the way towards the fencing here. And it actually is super nice. If it's a Floridian zoo, we kind of want some shades at some point, because it can be pretty warm to walk around here. So that's kind of like why we're doing this, and then giving it a little bit of foliage on top there as well, and just fixing up the gaps so everything kind of like matches and goes in together very nicely. As you can see here, we are slowly moving towards the end. So what you're seeing me do here at the end is just fixing up the last pieces of foliage, adding a few things here and there, and then we can slowly finish off this habitat. The habitat itself is pretty much done. Maybe I'll add a few things further on in the project, just around the fencing, and as I say, around the ramp here and stuff. But in general, I'm super happy for how this turned out in general. Just the whole vibe of different textures, as you can see here, using as well again, and just adding this towards the entire thing, so we can get a little bit more support and a little bit more rustic authenticness to this here. So friends, I really hope you enjoyed this video of Palmetto Zoo. Let me know what you think of the name as well, and do you have any suggestions to what you want to see here in this zoo? Let me know, and if not, I just hope you guys have an amazing weekend, amazing day, and remember to subscribe if you want to check out more. All links and all that stuff you need are down below. Take care everyone, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.